Hello my dear students, welcome to this video lecture. I am Professor Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya, Principal of Uttarvanga Maheshwari College. In this video lecture, I will discuss the question and answers of The Great Gatsby as I committed yesterday. So today, I will give you the question and the answer. You are requested to listen to this video, and it is my strong suggestion and recommendation that you note it down in your copy. Okay, in this way the video will help you out to listen to this answer a number of time, and you can note down the answer. Okay, so do not believe in the video, because it will somewhere be misplaced. Okay, you will not be able to remember where it is. So it is better you write down the answer. The first question is, how does Nick Carraway first meet J. Gatsby? Now write the answer. The answer is, Nick is Gatsby's neighbor, and he first see him out of the lawn on a dark night, reaching his arms towards the green light across the water. However, despite seeing his silhouette means the dark image behind the light. Okay, Silhouette, silhouette. And despite hearing many rumors about him, the two men do not meet. Okay, before Nick and Carraway never met early. Nick attends one of Gatsby's summer parties. The actual moment of their acquaintance proves little awkward, as Nick mistakes Gatsby, one of another guest, telling the stranger that this man Gatsby sent over his chauffeur with an invitation. Chauffeur, Chauffeur. Chauffeur means a driver who drives a private car. It's a French origin word. Chauffeur. Okay. Chauffeur. Okay. Now he says that Gatsby announces himself and apologizes for being a poor host because he has forgotten to introduce himself. Now, knowing that this stranger is Gatsby, Nick notes a suitable contradiction in the man's behavior. On the one hand, Gatsby has an earnest smile, beautiful smile hovering on his lips, but on the other hand, he speaks very selectively. His choices of words are very selective, and which actually apprehends that he is not honest, earnest, or a good person. This is the answer. Okay. Now second question. Why did Daisy marry Tom? Daisy Buchanan? Now, the answer is, even though she was still in love with Gatsby, that is, Daisy was in love with Gatsby, Daisy most likely married Tom because she knew that he could provide her with more material comforts, the luxurious life. In chapter 4, Jordan recounts how the day before the wedding she found Daisy drunk, sobbing, and clutching a letter. The letter sent by Gatsby to her to reconsider her marriage and come back to him. Tom presented her a necklace worth rupees $350,000. So Presumably, the letter is from Gatsby, as I told you. Gatsby still was a student at that time when Tom had given a very expensive necklace. So, Daisy considered Tom to be more matured and immediate uh, fortune hunter in comparison to Gatsby, and that is why Daisy married to Tom. Number 3 question. Why does Gatsby arrange for Nick to have lunch with Jordan Baker? Very important question. Why does Gatsby arrange for Nick to have lunch with Jordan Baker? Although Nick doesn't realize it, that first Gatsby arranges for him to have lunch with Jordan as part of his plan to get close to Daisy. More specifically, Gatsby wants to arrange it so that Daisy will come to West Egg. As you know, East Egg and West Egg, the two places where she can be reunited with Gatsby and witness his wealth firsthand. Having Daisy come to West Egg has the advantage of isolating her from Tom and also makes it possible for Gatsby to stage an apparently accidental encounter with her in order for these events to happen. So it was a concocted party. Okay. Gatsby needs Nick to invite Daisy over a number of pretense of having tea instead of asking Nick to do his for himself. Gatsby employs Jordan to convince Nick. The meeting between Nick and Jordan in chapter 4 is a part of a longer term plan that Gatsby initiated before Daisy moved to East Egg. According to Jordan, Gatsby has kept tabs on Daisy for years and followed her when she and Tom moved from Chicago to the East Coast. So, the arrangement of the party is not sudden, but it was a pre-planned. Okay, so this is the answer, so that he can arrange some solitary meeting place with Daisy. Next question. How does Tom find out about the affair between Gatsby and Daisy? Tom finds about the affair between Gatsby and Daisy in chapter 7, just before the three of them, along with Nick, take a trip to New York. Although no one explicitly communicates this fact, Tom picks up on suspicious body language. Specifically, he notices Gatsby and Daisy exchange glances. So in the novel it is written, you must quote the original quote from the novel, and this will actually make the difference, the answer of yours and others. So you must have the original quote from the novel. So and in we can say the exchange of glances. Okay, and what he says their eyes met and they stared together each other long alone in space. Nick watches Tom as he watches the exchange between his wife and Gatsby. Nick writes what he writes in the novel. She had told Gatsby that she loved him and Tom Buchanan saw it. He was astounded. Astounded means surprised, astounded. Even though Tom realizes the nature of Gatsby and Daisy relationship in early chapter 7, he does not confront Gatsby until later in the chapter in a room at the Plaza Hotel. Nevertheless, the moment Tom sees what's going on marks the beginning of the end. Okay, so he could understand that how the love affair is going, how the relationship is going. He was sure that is not going to be materialized. Next question. Why does Myrtle run out in front of Gatsby's car when they were going? At the end of chapter 7, Myrtle runs out in front of Gatsby's car because she mistakes it for Tom's car. Why? Because she wanted to commit suicide in front of Tom's car. The mistake occurs because earlier in the day, Tom suggests that he and Gatsby swap cars for the drive to Newark. Gatsby drives straight to Newark, but Tom, driving Gatsby's car, stops for gas at the Wilson garage. Which garage? Wilson garage. Myrtle sees Tom from the room where her husband has locked her up. Later that night, Tom and Gatsby drive their own cars back from the city. When Myrtle sees the yellow car coming, so what is the color of the car? Yellow car, okay, yellow car coming down to the road, she assumes it's Tom's and breaks out of her room and runs out to seek the help. Myrtle's mistakes proves fatal when Daisy, who's driving Gatsby car, accidentally hits her, killing her instantly. So this misconception, this is, it is an intricate part of American society of that time that the novelist wanted to establish that how frustrated they were, how their love line and affairs were built on immediate desire and money. Okay. Now, very important question. How does Gatsby makes his money? Although Gatsby himself never explicitly said that how he became wealthy, a reader could assume his money comes from illegal or nefarious practices. Nefarious, Nefarious, nefarious practices. Working as either a German spy or a gambler. Readers know from Gatsby's relationship with Mayor Wolfram, who is actually the key figure of Gatsby's bootlegging. Okay, the character in the novel who fixed the 1990 World Series. The Gatsby was involved in criminal activities during Tom and Gatsby's fight in chapter 7. Tom brings up Gatsby's business with Wolfram, says he heard that they sold grain, alcohol over the counter in a drugstore, New York or Chicago. Gatsby responds to the accusation with, "What about it?" Okay, a single "what about it?" suggesting that Tom is right and that Gatsby likely made the majority of his money through bootlegging. Okay. So I hope this 4-5 questions will be suffice for today's video. Next I will come with more question and answer. Okay, so until then, goodbye and have a good day. Thank you.